We all have one question. Who are the Anunnaki?
The Anunnaki is arguably one of the greatest mysteries of our ancient history and our past.
We have to ask, who were the gods? The gods were extraterrestrials.
Join me in this grand odyssey and discovery as we seek to uncover the hidden truths of the Anunnaki.
By studying the Anunnaki, we truly unlock the secrets within ourselves at the same time.
We are the offsprings of extraterrestrials, and that's not coincidence.
This is the saga of the Anunnaki and their ancient secrets revealed.
Forbidden knowledge.
All right. What's going on out there, everyone? It's Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. I know that this is a little bit of a strange look to you guys because I'm sitting on a laptop in a hotel as I've been working nonstop on the road. So you're gonna have to forgive me for being where I am because I'm not in my home studio, obviously. All right, but I wanted to be able to hop in here and drop some knowledge tonight on the topic of the secrets of the halls of Amenti. All right. So I just want to check and make sure that we're live on all the platforms. I see that we're live on Forbidden Knowledge Podcast Network on YouTube. We are live on Elizabeth Carson YouTube. Looks like we're live on X. And we're also live on, Forbidden Knowledge X and Coach Carson X. That's great. So we're live in a few locations right now, okay? So hopefully you guys can share this video. I'm on the West Coast right now, so that's why it's still daylight here. And that means it's probably 8 p.m. on the East Coast. But guys, please share the video and let everyone know that I'm live right now. I'm going to talk about the secrets of the halls of Amenti, and I'm going to do some reading from the compendium of the Emerald Tablets, break some things down, show you some videos and photos of the locations of two potential sites that I believe are actually where these halls of Amenti are actually located. All right. And I'm giving you a small glimpse as to what's going to be in one of our upcoming episodes on Anunnaki, Ancient Secrets Revealed. Okay. All right. We got some people here in the live chat. We got Phoenix Storm. Phoenix was actually first in the live chat today. The live chat is, let's see here, Valis. We got a few people in here right now. All right. And I see the numbers are building up here. All right, cool. Let's see the video is finally getting shared and getting some people logging in. I was supposed to do this live the other day, so you guys got to forgive me. I've been working like crazy and was unable to go live and do the podcast. I just a few days ago, I worked in 4 states in 3.5 days. That's a lot of work. Okay. I'm talking about, I worked in Miami. I worked in Atlanta. I worked in Atlanta, Miami, Atlanta, Vegas, and California. No, I'm sorry. That was Texas. Miami, Atlanta, Austin, Texas, and then Vegas. Then came home. I was supposed to go straight to LA after that, but we had a conflicting scheduling thing. So I'm actually sitting in LA right now. So what I did when I got back, I went to Atlanta the day after next. I did InvestFest with 19 Keys at that huge event. It was phenomenal. Then I hopped straight on a plane right from the venue and went straight to California. And then this morning I went straight to a podcast with Nick Cannon, which I think is going to be phenomenal when that airs. And then now, I had a couple of meetings today, and now I'm here going live with y'all. As soon as I get off this live, I'm racing to the airport. Okay. I'm racing to the airport. So it's it's a grind, man. It's an absolute grind. Anyway, but I'm glad to be here. I'm sorry I'm not in 4K quality today. I'm just on this laptop. All right. But we're going to have a good time and drop some knowledge and go over some facts and some hypothesis and see where it takes us. All right. So let's see here. Let me check out the live chat real quick. Okay, what day of the week is? Oh, it's a Sunday. I normally don't go live on Sundays. I'm just trying to see where the people at. Where's the live chat's not? I see a few people in the live chat. What's up, Joshua? What's up, T-Sec, Hector, Azaria? What's going on? All right, how you doing? Vegas in the house. All right, cool. Dallas. All right, cool. Okay, it's building up little by little. So I'm going to do a little reading from the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. That's my book. That's one of my best-selling books. It's been out in distribution now for, I think, almost 5 years. It's going on very close to 5 years. The book is a 5-star book, like 4.7 stars on Amazon, which is very hard to do because it has over 3,500 reviews. And books typically, no matter how good the book is, when you get that many reviews, it seems to diminish the star power. But this book is still hovering right around 5 stars. So that tells you something. The book is, the numbers are staggering. I still don't understand it. My brain is still, it even surprised me. I expected to manifest, but this is beyond even abundance in terms of how many books have actually distributed worldwide, globally. It's being sold all around the world on every continent, and Amazon can barely even keep them in stock. So it's a good problem to have. Very excited for it. So I see more people hopping in the chat. Thank you, Azaria, for the great comment. We have Eliu, Nina, what's going on? Gifted one. All right, thanks for making it in here. Appreciate y'all. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about the halls of Amenti. I'm sorry if this camera shakes a little bit, the table. If I touch it the wrong way, it kind of moves a little bit. It's not going to be my highest quality production today, but people were complaining that they had missed this one a couple times, but I was flying in the air. I decided to try to pop in and knock this out for you guys here on this live. All right. What up, though? Jamal Adris. All right. Charity, what's happening? Okay. So let's get into this. I think we got enough people for me to start now. Let's get into this. Let me pull up the Emerald Tablets, a compendium of the Emerald Tablets. Let me pull those up, and I'm going to start reading from there. Let's see here. So for those of you who have the book, I'll see if I can figure out what page it's on. I'm kind of going from my PDF file right now is what I'm going to actually go on. So I'm going to get back to the PDF, which I actually just had. Where the heck did it go? And we're going to go from the PDF. Okay, here we go. Boom. And that's already open. Okay, great. So right now, I'm on page 12 right now of the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. I'm going to read a little bit and talk a little bit. We're going to talk about the secrets of the halls of Amenti. And the halls of Amenti, according to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, are a place where they created these gigantic stone boxes made out of diorite and crystal granite. And these boxes allowed them to put bodies in them, and supposedly bodies with no soul. And they would transfer their consciousness from one body, from their mind to the next body, one body to the next. And they would leave and walk out of these boxes. And they would say they would walk amongst men, but unlike men, while they had an empty sleeve inside of these chambers recharging. According to Thoth, there's halls of Amentis in many different places. And two that I feel that I have discovered is one underneath the pyramid of Saqqara, the step pyramid of Saqqara, and another complete halls of Amenti at the Serapeum, about 50 feet underground in Saqqara as well. So we're going to talk about that tonight, okay? We're going to talk about that tonight. All right, so let me just get back over here. And all right, cool. Thank you, Brian Lee. I appreciate it. Thanks for the great comments. And we're going to get right into it. Let me just pull up this Word document and we will get this party started. All right, let's see here. Okay, boom, boom. All right. So the emerald tablets of the Atlantean Thoth laid hidden and buried under the Great Pyramid of Giza for centuries. The date of their concealment is unknown, but we do know it was sometime after Thoth left his earthly kingship over the Egyptians. You see, Thoth had ruled over the land of ancient Kemet before it was even called Egypt. According to the Egyptians, not according to me, he ruled for 16,000 years, one man, over the land of ancient Kemet. He even helped them rebuild civilization there after the Great Flood. He rebuilt a post-diluvial, highly advanced civilization there. After some time, he left and he went to Mesoamerica and he built the Teotihuacan civilization. What's Thoth's name in Africa? He's known as Thoth, but he's also known as Tahuti. And what does Teotihuacan translate to? The city of Tahuti. Same person, two different continents in ancient times. Even now, under the Great Pyramid of Giza lies an undiscovered place of otherworldly appearance and the access point to a realm referred to as the Great Halls of Amenti. For generation upon generation after the earthly departure of Thoth, specially appointed priests of Thoth from the early departure performed as guardians to the hiding place of this domain. Those pyramid priests are still there. I mean, I know them well. I see them every year. Around 1200 BC, priests removed these tablets from Egypt and carried them throughout the world to all former Atlantean colonies. Now, this is important because, like I always say, Atlantis was not just a ringed city located in one place, potentially in the Atlantic Ocean, right, or the Pillars of Hercules, but Atlantis was many capitals on Earth. The ring city was one of many capitals, and they had kings ruling over different regions of the planet. That's how it was set up back then. What ended up happening is they all went to war against each other. And the war extended from Earth to the moon and even all the way to Mars, the god of war. And there's a reason for that, but that's a whole nother podcast that gets into the Epic of Atrahasis. And the Ijiji wanted to go to war against the kings of Earth, Enki, Enlil, and Anu. But it says here, for generation upon generation after the earthly departure of Thoth, specially appointed priests of Thoth performed as guardians of the hiding place of his domain. Around 1200 BC, priests removed these tablets from Egypt and carried them throughout the world to all former Atlantean colonies. The further away from Egypt the priests traveled, the more new civilizations experienced religious renaissances. Do you understand what's going on here? These tablets hold a key behind all spiritual beliefs. And wherever these priests traveled with the knowledge of what's in these tablets, as they were teaching and preaching the knowledge in the tablets, which really are the secrets of the mystery schools, people in those regions began to spring up new religions, spiritual beliefs out of nowhere. There you can actually track the path of tablets around the world as new religions and new spirituality beliefs would begin to pop up and crop up everywhere, because these emerald tablets are the main source for most belief systems that exist. The further away from Egypt the priests traveled, the more new civilizations experienced religious renaissances. Finally, the priests left the tablets buried under the unmarked temple, perhaps under the pyramid of Pakal the Great, Lord Pakal. That's in where? Mexico. Okay, we're talking about what used to be considered Mesoamerica, and now it's obviously not Mesoamerica anymore. It's Mexico and South America, where the Mayans obviously used to live. That area is, now has many different names, but it used to be one big name, Mesoamerica. That's where Thoth went to build the Teotihuacan civilizations. Okay. So under the Pakal, now Lord Pakal is a very curious ruler, because there's a depiction of Lord Pakal in Palenque, and I believe it's in Palenque. Don't quote me on that 100%. But this depiction of him has him sitting in this device. This device looks like he's in there with a helmet and oxygen control to his nose and an earpiece for communication, and he's maneuvering gears and buttons, and his feet are on a pedal, and from the back it looks like exhaust. It looks like he's flying in some type of a ship, which is pretty crazy, and it's an incredible image, as a matter of fact. Let me see if I can pull that up for you guys real quick while we're on here. All right. We have a nice small crowd tonight. So let's see if we can find a quick image of Lord Pakal and his skyship real quick. All right. Let's see if I can find it here. It's really amazing. Okay, I found one. Let me pull this up on the screen, and let me just share this screen with you guys real quick. Oops, where'd it go? Let's see, I'm about to save it and then upload it to you. This is just incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. The more you dig into this ancient civilization stuff, the deeper the rabbit hole gets, because it's just never-ending surprise after surprise. It really is. Okay, now let me go back and share my screen here. Here's this one. Okay, there we go. We're on worldhistory.org. And here is Lord Pakal's ship, his skyship. It's really amazing. Oh, let me see. It's trying to make it big for you guys. Hold on a second. Let's go back and get it back again. There we go. See if I can blow it up. There we go. Okay, now, so you can see this. You can see, like I said, his feet on some type of controls, his hands maneuvering buttons and gears of some type, or handles. He's got something going into his nose. It just looks very technological. The bottom piece we can't see because they have it cut off here in this image at this particular online museum, but the bottom part has exhaust fumes coming out of the back. To me, signifying that he's in something that actually has the capability of flight. Some scientists and engineers actually reconfigured this image into 3D printing, and they came up with an incredible image. I'm going to see if I can find that for you real quick. See if I can find it. If not, it's okay, but it's pretty incredible. Once they took it into a 3D rendering and made it into a 3D model, you can then see exactly what it was. Okay, I just found it. See if I can pull this up for you real quick. All right, let me go back here. Let me stop sharing this screen. And let me just try to upload it. So maybe that might be easier. Okay. Yep, I'm going to be able to upload it. Hang tight 1 second. Oops. Okay. take this out of here. All right, let me upload it now. So once you start researching these ancient civilizations, you just find the most incredible stuff. Now have a look at it. This is from a 3D rendered modeling from a computer. All right, nothing modified, nothing changed. But you can clearly see that it looks like technology. Pretty incredible stuff. Pretty incredible stuff. It's quite possible that Lord Pakal, Viracocha, Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl are all Thoth himself. Okay? Very, very, very possible. Very possible. All right, so let me get back to this, to what I was doing here with this read. Oops, where's this thing at? There we go. All right. So the tablets were discovered underneath or buried or hidden in that area underneath where Lord Pakal's place was. All right, let's get down here. Thoth gave Dorial permission to retain a copy of his translations after making the arduous journey and delivering the tablets to the doorway of the halls of Amenti. We can imagine Dorial taking a transport ship across the Atlantic in the mid-1920s, bound for Egypt while concealing the glistening emerald tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. How he must have slipped serendipitously into the pyramid complex under cover of darkness. Directed by the presence of Thoth to the hidden entrance, this entrance lay undisturbed for 3,300 years since the guardian priests had left behind their temples for the mission of Thoth. Now we go back into another section where it's talking about the halls of Amenti again. I think I'm on page 13. These most ancient tablets are the ones formed by Thoth, the god of wisdom and knowledge, and written for the spiritual enlightenment of all those who respond and receive the rarefied form of consciousness as a gift from God himself. Thoth was a god king of Egypt for thousands of years. But when he decided to return to the halls of Amenti, he built the Great Pyramid of Egypt to serve a twofold function. Firstly, to safeguard the emerald tablets, and secondly, to serve as a hidden entrance to the halls of Amenti. Thoth says that beneath the Great Pyramid stands the doorway to the underworld, where the Master of Masters dwell. We will learn more about the halls of Amenti shortly. This is in the book as I'm going through it. Underneath Giza, they discovered this plateau underneath the sands, going a mile out underneath the sands of halls. That was about maybe 7 years ago now. The halls in that particular location were all empty, but the halls, the archway halls, were actually there, or are actually there, which is wild. Now, there's a special shaft that I take people to when I take them to Egypt and take them on a special VIP private visit to the Great Pyramid. We spent about 4 to 5 hours there. And there's a shaft called the subterranean shaft that hardly anybody in the world has ever been into, and access is extremely limited. It's locked and chained and everything else. But when we go there, we take the chains and the locks off. We've got the key. And we take you down, if you'd like to go down this 65-meter shaft that goes down, all the way beneath the Great Pyramid, about the length of a football field. Then another 40 meters drop from there in a straight down angle, vertically going down. There's even more than that down there. So underneath the pyramid is this huge, it's like a whole nother world of shafts and entranceways and closed off doors and everything else, leading to other tunnels and shafts and other places that go underneath the sands of Giza to the halls of Amenti and many other places. This particular halls of Amenti, they claim is empty. And that's pretty interesting. I don't believe that it's empty, but if it is, okay, it is what it is. They're not going to let us get down there. But there's more than one halls of Amenti. Thoth talks about the fact that, for example, his father, Enki, had halls of Amenti. The 7 lords also had these different halls of Amenti. Enki had a halls of Amenti. So these people were utilizing these chambers, these halls, and these diorite, crystal diorite boxes, which were radioactive, as some type of a tool or mechanism to recharge bodies while they were utilizing other bodies. And these bodies weren't stolen bodies. According to them, they fabricated their own bodies. In other words, just like the movie Avatar, they made their own avatars, which is incredible. Same thing we're trying to do today. Right now, today, in science, if you look this up, you'll discover this is accurate. They can take a skin cell from you. That skin cell, they can then, under the right laboratory conditions, cultivate it into a stem cell. Then they can cultivate that one stem cell into groups of stem cells. From that, they can turn those groups of stem cells into a synthetic embryo. They can then take that synthetic embryo, which is a copy of you, and grow it to any age specified. And then the next step is to be able to transfer your mind into your new avatar body. That's being worked on right now today. They've got the first part covered all the way up to creating synthetic embryos. Look it up. They've been creating synthetic embryos for quite some time now from stem cells. Now, the next step is transferring your mind into your new body. It's a whole new level of understanding immortality, which is how these ancient people understood it. Okay. Let's see. Let's get on to some more of this tablet. Okay. Let's take you in here. Certain hieroglyphic texts state that one chapter of the Book of the Master of Hidden Places was still in existence during the reign of Hezep-T. That's Hezep-T, about 428 BC. Egyptologists deemed it the most ancient documentation of any kind known in the world. Consequently, the Book of the Dead is known as the first secret manual of initiation. Among its teaching, there are descriptions and procedures and passwords that have specific levels of meaning, one spiritual and the other physical. The hidden places mentioned in the aforementioned book are the references to the underground chambers at Giza, where the halls of Amenti are. The Book of the Dead carries some unusual narratives with a curious reference to those who live among the stars. Okay, so they're talking about this in the Egyptian Book of the Dead and the Book of the Master of the Hidden Places. And they're talking about the fact that these beings had access to something called halls of Amenti, and these were star beings. The same thing we've heard from indigenous tribes all over the world. The Hopi tribe, Lakota tribe, the Blackfoot Native tribe. What do they say? That they were seated on this planet by star brothers, that they're connected to their star brothers, that their star brothers have brought them knowledge. Same thing with the indigenous tribes of the Australians, the Aboriginals. Same exact story. Same exact story. And according to the ancient Egyptians, at the time of Zep-Tepi, the Nitiru came from heaven and turned mud into a kingdom. They call them sky gods that came down to earth and literally turned mud into a kingdom. That correlates, that story from Zep-Tepi from the ancient Egyptians correlates directly with the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, saying that the mud was, the temples were rising up out of the mud and the fountains were receding, and that his new mission was now to build a new civilization out of this mud. Same story. So you can see multiple accounts of the same story connecting over time from different cultures, different continents, different time periods, same story. That's circumstantial evidence. Let's take a look at what Thoth is saying here. He says, I, Thoth, the Atlantean, master of mysteries, keeper of records, mighty king, magician, living from generation to generation, being about to pass into the halls of Amenti. He's saying right now in that particular verse, he's saying that he's letting you know who he is and what he's capable of and what he's known for. And he's saying that he's about to descend into the halls of Amenti. In other words, knowing me in this particular form, in this avatar, is only temporary. You won't see this avatar again because I'm about to go and transfer it to another body. I'll put this one in a chamber and let it rejuvenate for 100 years. He would put a body in a chamber for 100 years at a time. These records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis set down for the guidance of those that are to come after in the great city of Kior on the island of Undal. In a time far past, I began this incarnation. He's talking about the fact that he had already began the incarnation in that body that he's talking to them in, from the halls of Amenti located on the Kior on the island of Undal. So there's a place called Kior, and in this place, okay, there's a halls of Amenti, and it's located somewhere on an island, and the island is called Undal. In these passages, we can already see that the tone is set for reincarnation and regeneration, very similar to the biblical statement in 2 Corinthians 5:2-7. We grow weary in our present bodies, and we long to put on our heavenly bodies like new clothing. For we will put on heavenly bodies. We will not be spirits without bodies. That's in the Bible. Let me say that again. We will not be spirits without bodies. While we live in these earthly bodies, we groan inside, but it's not what we want to die and get rid of in these bodies. We want them to clothe us. Rather, we want to put on our new bodies so that these dying bodies will be swallowed up by life. God himself has prepared for us this, and as a guarantee, he has given us the Holy Spirit. So we are always confident, even though we know that as long as we live in these bodies, we are not at home with the Lord, for we live by believing, not by seeing. So in the biblical text, they're already talking about the fact that when you die, you will be reincarnated into a new body. You're not going to be some floating light spirit with no body. It clearly states that you're going to get a new body. They said you won't be a spirit without a body, 2 Corinthians. That's what it says. It's saying the same thing that the ancient text is saying. Same thing that the ancient text is saying. Let me check in with you guys. All right. Somebody said, I want to float for a while. Jack said he want to float for a while. Yeah. Joshua, Anunnaki are demons. Billy is repping demons. Demons. Oh, man. You must be one of them hardcore Bible thumpers, dude. This might not be the podcast for you, man. If you're not willing to open your mind and learn about what happened in the ancient past, if you want to go to some old wives' tales and fairy tales, this ain't going to be the podcast for you, buddy. You must well go ahead and move on. All right. We're not scared like that. Over here, over here, we're learning. Over here, we're expanding consciousness. Over here, we're exploring and asking questions and looking for connections. We're not into all that. It must be Satan. It's demons. We're not into that. That's for baby. That's for spiritual babies. If you're a spiritual baby, just get off of this. Just get off of this podcast. You can't handle this. This knowledge is too powerful for you because it's tearing down your belief system and it's ripping your soul out of your body. It's scaring the hell out of you. And if that's the case, just go ahead and move on, man. Go watch something else. Go watch ESPN or the Olympics, whatever. Go find something else to do. Go play with your kids, something, go talk to your wife or your whatever. But don't hang out on here because we're not into all that scary, spooky stuff. All right. We're too mature for that now. Those days are over. Okay. All that blind faith stuff and that demons are scaring us. Those days are coming to an end. Okay. Your days are numbered. Bible thumpers, your days are numbered. Y'all are the last, or maybe 2 generations more, and y'all be done. People are asking questions and waking up nowadays. It ain't no more of this crazy stuff. We're not into the psychosis anymore. All right, we're beyond that. We're beyond that stage. Our minds are so far advanced and so capable of understanding higher concepts and exploring different information. It doesn't scare us anymore. We've got rid of the boogeyman called the devil that can whisper in your ears and trick you and beguile you and all that crazy shit. We're done with that. Those days are over. All right, just move on to something else. All right, let me get back in here again. Let me get back in here and open up these tablets back up. All right, let's see. Where are we here? Okay, now Let's see here. So let's check this out. So Thoth is talking again. He says, oh yeah, this is powerful right here. Thoth says, not as the little men of the present age did, but the mighty ones of Atlantis live and die. But rather from eon to eon did they renew their life in the halls of Amenti, where the river of life flows eternally onward. Now that's an interesting statement. He's talking about the river of life. Listen to what he says here. He says, not as the little men of the present age did, but the mighty ones of Atlantis live and die. He said, rather from eon to eon, that's thousands of years he's talking, did they renew their life in the halls of Amenti, where the river of life flows eternally onward. Now, this river, I've been researching, what is this river that they're talking about, this river of life? And I found this river of life information in biblical texts where Jesus is talking. He says almost the same thing that Thoth says, except Jesus was 2,000 years ago and Thoth was 36,000 years ago. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Jesus says in the New Testament, book of John 7:38, he that believes in me, out of his being shall flow rivers of living water. Thoth says, where the river of life flows eternally onward. It's the same exact statement. Pretty interesting. Thoth says, 100 times 10 have I descended the dark way that led to light. And as many times have I ascended from the darkness into the light, my strength and power have been renewed. Then he says, now for a time I descend, and the men of Kemet shall know me no more. So he's saying at that point, that at that moment, in that particular avatar body, he was going to descend back into the halls of Amenti, and he was going to put that body away, let it recharge in a chamber, while he left and used another body and went somewhere else to do another mission. Okay? So it says, understand here that the men of Kemet refers to the people of Egypt. Yet notice that we get our word alchemy from this Egyptian name. He says that he has descended into the halls of Amenti, where his regeneration chamber is. Certainly, we can understand the concept of cellular regeneration. He says that he spent a total of 10,000 years, 100 times 10, regenerating his avatar over the course of many eons. Thoth also references the river of life, stating, I began this incarnation from eon to eon, where the river of life flows eternally onward. Remember how Jesus makes the same reference in John 7:38. Let's see here. Thoth says, purposes yet unborn in the womb of time, long ages I dwelt in the temple, learning ever yet and ever more wisdom, until I too approached the light emitted from the great fire. Taught me he the path to Amenti, the underworld where the great king sits upon his throne of might. Deep I bowed in homage before the lords of life and the lords of death, receiving my gift, the key of life. Free was I of the halls of Amenti, bound not by death to the circle of life. He's talking about the fact that at this point he had become a master of incarnation. In these words, Thoth explains he has now overcome reincarnation. He has now achieved the ability to consciously incarnate at will and transfer his mind into any new body. Pretty crazy stuff here. Now for a time, I go among them into the dark halls of Amenti, deep into the halls of the earth, before the Lord of powers, face to face again with the dweller. Raised I high over the entrance, a doorway, a gateway. He's talking about a stargate leading down to Amenti. Few there would be with courage to dare it. Few passed the portal to the dark Amenti. Raised over the passage, I, a mighty pyramid. He's talking about the Great Pyramid. Using the power that overcomes Earth's force. He's talking about anti-gravity in ancient times. He's talking about using the power that overcomes Earth's force. He's talking about using something that overcomes gravity. Anti-gravity is what he's talking about 36,000 years ago. Deep and yet deeper place I a force, house, or chamber. From it I carved a circular passage, reaching almost to the great summit. There in the apex set I the crystal, which is missing now from the top of the pyramid, sending a ray into time space, drawing the force from out of the ether, concentrating upon the gateway to Amenti. So in some way, the apex crystal that's missing from the top of the Great Pyramid used to harness some type of cosmic energy, and he utilized that energy in tune with the pyramid, which is the machine itself, to keep the bodies or those chambers recharging the bodies or regenerating the bodies. It was one of the sources of power. He says, other chambers I built and left vacant, all to seeming, yet hidden with them are the keys to Amenti. Hidden within them are the keys to Amenti. So we see he has some fake halls of Amenti in case people stumble on some and discover them. And then they look empty, like there's nothing there. But there is something there for the one who has the key to access them and utilize them. So this is just incredible. This is an incredible level of knowledge. This is an incredible level of advanced and forward thinking. It's superior thinking. We are just now today trying to barely scratch the surface to this level of technology that they achieved tens of thousands of years ago. Thoth says, so that I might be here when again I return from Amenti, while I sleep in the halls of Amenti, my soul roaming free will incarnate and dwell among men in one form or another. He has the ability to keep a body, like I said, in the chamber and let his soul roam into a new body, and then he'll dwell amongst men. He could be here right now, today. You say, well, where'd he go? Where's Thoth at right now? Oh, he could be just chilling right now. So he says, emissary on earth am I of the dweller. He's an emissary on earth. He's an emissary. Right now, today. So people say, well, where is he? He says, I'm an emissary on earth. Now let's look up that word emissary so you can get an understanding of what it exactly means. Okay? It's almost like an ambassador. It says here, a person sent on a special mission, usually a diplomatic representative. A person sent on a special mission, usually a diplomatic representative. That's what it says. Okay? If you've been reading the knowledge, if you've been studying the Emerald Tablets and gaining the knowledge that's within those texts, then you have a fractal of the consciousness of the author inside you. And that by that method, you are Thoth walking in the flesh. By that method. I'm an author, I write books, right? So I take a book and I start thinking about the book I want to write. And so while I'm thinking about the book that I want to write, it's existing in the multi-dimensional platform. All right. And as I'm getting what I want to do and I start writing the book, I'm saving the knowledge into my brain. Right. Everything about what I'm authoring is here. So I take multi-dimensional concepts of thinking and then I collapse them into 2 dimensions by drawing connecting lines on paper. 1 and 2 dimensions, single lines and connecting lines. I've taken multidimensional knowledge and compressed it and encoded it with a special kind of encoding called writing. It's called language. It's in the book. The book is printed, right? And the book is printed, and then you buy the book and you get it delivered. You open the book. The second you open the book, photons bounce off the page, ping up to your retina, go to the back of your brain, and your brain decodes the language writing. It decodes the writing, the letters, and the numbers, and the symbols. And then, what does it do? It's uploading a stream of my mind to your mind. So reading a book is a mind meld. Okay? Reading a book is an absolute mind meld. What was in my mind in multidimensional format was collapsed into 1 and 2D. And then when you open it, you take that 1 and 2D encoded information. It's like an encryption key, and your brain decodes it, and you upload a stream of my brain into your own brain. So when you read my books, you are now part of me. Is now a fractal inside of you, inside of your brain, forever. That's what's happening. You see? That's why when you gain knowledge from another teacher or a mentor, when you achieve a level of understanding and fully being able to envelop and act on that knowledge, then that person becomes a fractal of you or inside of you. You become a fractal of that mind, basically. You see? That's how it works. That's how it works. So that's what's going on, guys. Let me go back to this book here again real quick. Let me get back in here and keep on track because I got to get to the airport. Got to get back on an airplane again and catch a red eye tonight to get all the way back to Florida. I don't want to miss that flight. There's no more flights going out. And I got meetings in the morning. Okay, here we go. I got to get down here. All right, cool. So let's look at this again. He says, now I return to the halls of Amenti, leaving behind me some of my wisdom. Hermes, thrice born, is the strongest candidate for Thoth's mention of my soul roaming will be free to incarnate and dwell amongst men in this form or another. It is Hermes Trismegistus who is responsible for maintaining, secreting, and teaching the single emerald tablet generally referred to until 1925. All right, let's find another. Okay. The halls of Amenti. Deep in Earth's heart lie the halls of Amenti, far beneath the island of the sunken Atlantis. Halls of the dead and halls of the living, bathed in the fire of the infinite all. Far in a past time, lost in the space-time, the children of light looked down on the world, seeing the children of men in their bondage, bound by the force that came from beyond. Knew they that only by freedom from bondage could man ever rise from the earth to the sun. So let's look here. He says, down they descended and created bodies. Down they descended and created bodies, taking the semblance of men as their own. The masters of everything said after their forming, we are they who were formed from the space dust, partaking of life from the infinite, living in the world as children of men. They didn't say children of God. They said children of men, like and yet unlike the children of men. They say like, but unlike the children of men, just like Jesus, aka Yeshua. He was like, but unlike the children of men. He was a Christ. During the later ages, the ego of Thoth passed into the bodies of men in the manner described in the tablets. As such, he incarnated 3 times, in his last being known as Hermes, the thrice born. And I talk about the 2045 initiative, which is talking about in Russia, they have this 2045 project, but by 2045, they'll be able to clone a body and transfer consciousness into a body. Okay, you can read this in my book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. Let me come back in here right quick and let me just drop a link for you guys. Then I'm going to show you some photos and the location of where I believe a couple of the halls of Amenti are actually located. If you want to study this information more, you can get my best-selling book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, on Amazon. It's got over 3,000 5-star reviews, so check it out. And it's been a bestseller for almost 5 years, which is hard to do. It's hard to do. I mean, there's so many books out there that are similar and have similar information that only cost like $5, or if it's an Audible 1 penny. So I'm competing against 1 penny books, and it still is a bestseller. So that tells you something. All right. Okay, let's get back in here again. Billy covers his real teeth. This is what you're getting out of this in my light. Is this what you're getting out of this? This is I'm giving you knowledge that could change the whole universe, and this is what we get. We get Billy covers his real teeth. Man, are you kidding me? Somebody get this guy out of here. This is ridiculous. And those who've been following me for a long time know I had braces for about 3 or 4 years. I had gap teeth. I had cracked teeth. I had to get my teeth, reshape my jawline and everything. And then when I got done with that, I put on my porcelain veneers. Okay, so I'm Hollywood now, and I'm proud of them. I love these teeth. They're my teeth. I don't have any fake teeth. I don't have any implants. And for a 53-year-old man, I have all of my teeth. There ain't gonna be no dentures over here. All right. Now, let's get back to his knowledge. This is what people get. I've given you guys life-changing knowledge, and this guy's talking about he covers his teeth up. Why come his teeth covered? Come on, man. We got we gotta do better. We gotta do better. Come on. Stay with me here. I mean, go on. Let me get back to this file. Okay. This is crazy. It's just funny. It's funny, man. Okay. Now, okay, we went over this one. Let me see if I can get to the part. Just want to check one more thing before I get to these photos and images here. All right. And Thoth said, he who by progress has grown from the darkness lifted himself from the night into light. He who by progress has grown from the darkness lifted himself from the night into light. Free is he of the halls of Amenti, free from the flower of light and of life. They knew about the flower of life 36,000 years ago, which is something that exists throughout all space-time. At every Planck unit in space-time exists a flower of life, which embedded within the flower of life is a 64-grid tetrahedron. And the connecting vertices of those tetrahedrons create something called the vector equilibrium. At the heart of the vector equilibrium, you have an unlimited, unparalleled source of power. It's the 0 point that everyone's been looking for. It's located in the flower of life pattern, which is super ancient. We've got depictions of it on statues and artwork and carvings from tens of thousands of years ago. Thoth is talking about this 36,000 years ago. He said, guided he then by wisdom and knowledge, passes from men to the master of life. There he may dwell as one of the masters, free from the bonds of the darkness of night, seated within the flower of radiance. He's talking about the flower of life now. He's in the energy pattern. He's in the energy form. Free from the bonds of darkness of night, seated within the flower of radiance, sit 7 lords from the space-time above us, helping and guiding through infinite wisdom. He's talking about something higher than this dimension. Pretty incredible stuff. All right, let's talk a little bit now because I'm almost out of time. Let me get into some photos and images, all right? Let's get into this. And thank you all for a lot of the great positive comments. I appreciate y'all. I know we only get a few we don't get many knuckleheads, but every now and then we get a knucklehead in here. But that one, that one made me laugh. I mean, I'm dropping knowledge here that you've never heard of before, that you can verify and look up. It's life-changing. And this guy says, I think he covers his teeth. I mean, come on, man. Oh, God. Anyway, all right. So let's get into some photos and video clips, all right? Let's get into some interesting things. So now I'm going to take you to a place where I believe is one of the potential sites. This is the step pyramid of Saqqara. Okay, you can barely see me standing there. I think that's me standing at the base. This picture was taken from far away. If that is me there, that may be 2014 or 2018. I don't know what year it was, but this is where we're going. This is the inside of that pyramid from the base level, from ground level. As you go in, this is what it looks like. Okay, so you're looking at a chamber that leads to an area that has a look over. All right. So, excuse me. This overlook or this look over area, I'm going to show you in a second. But here in this, I can't stand up straight. So to give you an idea of the height, this is probably about 4.5 feet tall, but the width is decent. If I spread my arms out and stand directly in the center of this hallway, my tips of my fingers will just barely touch the walls. And I think I have about a 7-foot wingspan because I'm pretty tall and I have a so my wingspan is about 7 feet. My height is 6'4". Okay, I'm trying to give you some dimensions as to the size of this chamber leading into this area where there's an actual hall of Amenti that's been uncovered there, in my personal opinion. Okay, get back into these images and find see if I can find this for you. The look over area. What's that area where I was looking over? There we go. Okay. So here you can see me looking over the edge. Okay. I'm looking over the edge and I'm looking down on one of the halls of Amenti rejuvenation chambers. That's what I personally believe it is. And I'm going to show you a video with Elizabeth and I walking down to the bottom level through some hidden shafts and chambers that hardly anybody gets access to get to the area where that rejuvenation chamber is actually located. Okay. Let me get to that. All right. So let's see here. Let me get to that clip. 1 second here. I got so much stuff in this doggone thing here for video files. 1 second, guys and gals. Let me get to it. Okay, down here. Here we go. Down, down, down. All right. Let's see if this is it. Hold on. Let me see if this is it. It was probably part of the process. Let me come back to that one. That's a different halls of Amenti. Let me go through this one. Not that one. This one. I need yours. All right.
I like having a water bottle in my phone.
All right, we're going down underneath the step pyramid of Saqqara. We went through a gate that has been locked for decades. We got the key. We unchained it.
Yep, I'm a duck.
And the pyramid priests allow us to come down. I'm taking my personal group. So all the voices that you hear and the people that are coming in ahead of me and behind me, that's one of the pyramid priests there. These people are with us, okay? They're with us. Now, Elizabeth is lucky because she can stand up and walk because she's only 5'1". But I'm hunched over because
Underground
I'm a little
tunnel
taller than
at
her.
the step pyramid in Saqqara. Private tour. Make sure you click that link and register for the Forbidden Tour of Egypt immediately if you want to explore this with us next year.
So now we're heading even deeper beneath this step pyramid.
Here we go.
There's countless hallways. We
Watch
actually
your
got
head.
lost down there for a while. We're going to go deeper. We're going to keep going.
Du bist ja auch eine Fledermaus.
I'm putting the link in the live chat. If you want to come with us and let me take you into these shafts and show you what's down there, click that link and register for my Egypt trip ASAP. All right?
We're hiking the
ASAP.
pyramid at Saqqara. Wow.
The cool guy.
Watch your head.
This is insane.
And we're descending even deeper. We're going down so many stories beneath the sands of Giza, of Saqqara. We're going beneath the sands of Saqqara here.
If you want to come on the Forbidden Tour of Egypt 2024, click that link ASAP.
This link is for 2025 because 2024 is sold out. We're actually taking the people in a couple of days to Egypt.
We're going to go sideways. Be careful here.
Cosmo,
Watch your head.
Find Insight. If you want to just email investors at Forbidden Knowledge, we don't need your $750. That's peanuts. Email investors at forbiddenknowledge.com. You can see, look at this thing. Look at how incredible this is.
Where did we go?
Somebody says that there's less oxygen down there. Actually, there's not less oxygen. Okay. Because there's the way that this pyramid is designed, somehow the air flows through every level. It's really bizarre. Really, really bizarre.
Wow. Amazing.
Now we're getting to the area where this is where that box directly in front where people are touching, that is a rejuvenation chamber. One of them is directly inside
Normally,
those.
we come in up
If
there.
you can look over those stones and then look down, you
This
see
time,
that there's
we're down here.
a huge granite box behind the rose granite stones.
We came in at the base. Normally we come in up there and we stand right up there. Yeah, we look over. I think it's further back a little bit off the stone there. We look down into this sarcophagus or whatever this box is. This is rose granite. Look, it goes down more.
All right, so you see, that's on the Forbidden Tour of Egypt. Okay, that's on the Forbidden Tour. I just dropped the link again if you guys want to come to 2025. 2024 is already, we're actually headed out shortly, but you can be on the 2025 Forbidden Tour of Egypt. So make sure you register now. It's because, as you can see, there's people there. All those people are specifically with us. That's an exclusive VIP private tour. And so in order to come down there with us, you got to register ASAP. Okay. I mean ASAP. So click that link and make sure you guys register right away. And you can be on the Forbidden Tour of Egypt with us. So now let me show you some more. Let me get back in here and show you the halls of Amenti, a different location for another halls of Amenti located at the Serapeum. We're inside of the Serapeum here. I'm laughing back there. My son Gabe and Justin are with us. You can see that giant stone box right there in one of the alcoves. See if she pivots here. Justin and Gabe.
What is that?
Over here.
It's getting lower.
How far down does it go?
Really far.
Football field.
Are we going all the way down now?
Yeah.
All the way down, all the way up, Gabe. All the way down, all the way up.
I'm really scared.
You got this.
12-day mega tour.
Coming down.
The tour of your life.
Justin, hold on a second so I can get you one.
We go to places that people haven't been
Justin
into
coming
for
down.
decades. We open up chambers. We open up secret doors and passageways. We climb through shafts. We hike into temples and pyramids. We get access and keys to doors that have been closed and sealed in certain sections of pyramids and temples that nobody can get into. And when we show up with the Forbidden Family, the tourists have to leave. It's a VIP tour. That means only us. And then I lecture on the Nile. As we're sailing down the Nile for 4 or 5 days, I'm giving lectures, 1-hour lectures. And then Muhammad Ibrahim is giving his lectures on lost technology of ancient Egypt. It's a mind-blowing tour. You're getting a conference, you're getting knowledge, you're getting forbidden knowledge, you're seeing sacred sites, and you're getting access to private places like no other person can ever get. It's literally the greatest tour in the absolute world, hands down. And if you don't believe me, go to our Trustpilot and read the reviews and read what their experiences were on our tour. We have business review. Our BBB is A, and our Trustpilot is 5-star. All right, Trustpilot is 5-star, and the BBB is an A. And we have on the BBB, in terms of our, let me see here, how many people commented on this thing? We have, where is it here? Let me just find it real quick. 4.99 out of 5. We got a 4.99 out of 5. And on our Trustpilot, let's see here. Let's go to the Trustpilot. Trustpilot is 209 5-star reviews. The only one review that was 1 star, the guy did it by accident, because when you click on it to read his comment, he gave a positive comment. He didn't probably click the right star. He says it was an excellent workshop. And I replied to him, I said, thanks for the great compliment. I think you selected 1 star by accident. So in reality, this is all 5 stars. Okay. Anyway, let me get back to what I was going to show you guys with this, with these second halls of Amenti. This is a gigantic stone box that weighs about probably close to 600 tons. Yeah, that one right there. And then the lid probably weighs about 400 tons. All right, that was just that one. Let me go to another one. This one's even bigger than that one. The lid was already open. If the lid is open, it was because somebody opened it, but it wasn't anybody in modern times. We can't open the lids to these things because the way they're designed, they're almost hermetically sealed. So the only way to open the ones that had lids sealed, we tried to blow them open. Not me, but the researcher, the archaeologist, tried to use explosives. And all they did was damage everything, okay, but to look on the inside. But the ones that were already open, nobody knows how they got opened, because none of us, nobody right now today in this modern society can open these things because of the way they're designed. And just let me tell you how big they are. The one you just saw, I can stand up in it at 6'4", and I can barely see the rim, barely. And the width is probably about 2/3 my wingspan. So we're talking about probably 5 feet and change. And the length is about 8 feet to 10 feet long. Okay. Massive. And inside is so smooth. Like they use some type of incredible technology to I mean, how do you get smooth diorite and smooth crystal granite like that in that massive scale? Let me show you something else here real quick.
Granite is also granite. We have diorite, which is kind of very solid.
So these boxes are massive. This is a location. What you're looking at, these are the actual rejuvenation. This is an actual rejuvenation chamber. You're looking at it inside of a hall. There's many halls down there. I think there's, I don't know how many were down this particular one, but there's definitely more than a dozen. Okay. And each one has one of these megalithic boxes. That particular box was about 1,000 tons. That's crazy numbers. Now, the size of these boxes, these rejuvenation chambers, they're so large and so heavy, and the pathway to get down to put them in the alcove is so narrow, you can't make them up above ground and then take them beneath ground 3 stories and then maneuver them into those locations. It's impossible. You also can't make them in those locations because in order to make a box that size, you need a piece 2/3 larger to start chiseling away at it to actually make the box that you want to be that size. Again, that means you're trying to maneuver an even bigger piece of stone down there. It's not going to happen. There's only 2 ways to do those, to get those in there. One is teleportation, and the second way is the ability to manifest them there in some way, shape, or form that we don't understand. Okay? That is what makes it so incredible. And the fact that, I'm the only person to discover these 2 locations as being linked to the halls of Amenti. And there'll be a full professional report on this in the new docuseries, Anunnaki Ancient Secrets Revealed, which is airing exclusively on Forbidden Knowledge TV. All right. We've already had episode 1 out. Episode 2, I believe, is coming out tomorrow or the next day on Forbidden Knowledge TV. So make sure you go and get that Forbidden Knowledge TV app on your app store. Make sure you download it ASAP. You can watch episode 1, which has been airing at all the Regal IMAX around the country and has sold out every single theater. So thank you to all of our investors that participated. Thank you to everyone who supported and came out. All right. This is helping elevate the company to the next level. We're really excited about this series. This is going to be our cornerstone series for the network that's going to allow it to continue to grow and expand, as I'm committed to filming unlimited episodes. It's the most expensive series we have on the network. It's produced at an incredible level of quality, and not that everything else isn't, but this is like, the 3D and fully immersed environment and all that. It's very unique. Nobody has ever done ancient civilizations in this way before. Nobody has done it. All right. So we're pretty excited about it. Looking forward to it. And I'll drop the link to the compendium of the Emerald Tablets in here again in the live chat. And if you want to get the compendium of the Emerald Tablets book, if you don't have it. And then also I will drop the link to the Egypt tour. And I'm going to show you something as well, because we're not done yet. I got about another 10 minutes before I got to get out of here. So let me show you a little bit more. All right. Let me go back in here and pull some of these images up. We talk about anti-gravity a lot, and Thoth talked about utilizing anti-gravity. Obviously, I only read a small piece, but the way that he's creating this anti-gravity is via cymatic frequencies. He talks about using frequencies to levitate objects and to also manifest matter in the 3rd dimension. He talks about utilizing photons and cymatics together to create solid matter. Now, just only a few years ago, scientists right here on this planet Earth, human beings, just discovered a way to create solid matter from what? From light and frequencies. We just finally accomplished that just recently. So what Thoth is talking about 36,000 years ago that sounds like magic, guess what? It's basic peer-reviewed science now. Let's take a look at how frequencies can actually elevate stones or levitate stones. Yeah. So we know how to do levitation via frequencies already. There's a famous stone that's on the Atana tablet. No, it's on the Shamash tablet, where Shamash is an Anunnaki god teaching human beings the power of anti-gravity utilizing frequencies. I've made many posts about it that have went uber viral over the years. Over the last 8 years, it's gone viral so many times when I repost it. He's literally showing magnetic fields, an oscillator, and also a cymatic frequency. We know the exact frequency he's utilizing because he shows us the frequency pattern. And that is the frequency pattern for anti-gravity. And he has human beings, one person holding a gigantic stone table, and the human man is lifting it with one hand because the frequency is directly over the table, giving it anti-gravity properties. All right. So yeah, we understand all these things now, and trust me, the powers that be have been understood all of this. It's just been suppressed, and they don't want to teach it in school. The information is not, it's not, what do you call it? It's not top secret. It's just forbidden. Forbidden knowledge is not top secret knowledge. Forbidden knowledge is hard to find knowledge. Things become so compartmentalized and hidden in different locations, or nobody connects the dots, so that nobody could put all the pieces of the puzzle together and figure out what the heck's going on. Well, that's my job. That's what I do. I bring you the forbidden knowledge. I put all the pieces of the puzzle together for you so you can have a clear picture of what's going on out here. You see? All right. Now, all right, CM Beats. I'll catch you later. I'm about to hop off of here shortly. I want to show the people one more thing. All right, let's check this out. The Forbidden Tour of Egypt. All right. Somebody said, what's that instrumental? That is one of my personally produced songs. I produce that music. As you know, I have a lot of songs. Just go to your streaming service, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, whatever you use, and just type in Forbidden Knowledge, number 4, my artist name, Forbidden Knowledge. And you can even look on my music on this channel here as well, because this is an artist YouTube account. That's why I don't have the blue check. I have the music symbol next to Forbidden Knowledge, or the Forbidden Knowledge podcast as a music symbol at the end of my YouTube name. That's a label that they've given this account because I'm an artist. I'm a music artist. All right. So you can check it out there. But again, I've dropped a link in the live chat. I'm pretty sure it's in the caption of this video. I'll drop it one last time. I love to see y'all in Egypt. You get to hang out with me and my wife for 12 days and go all over Egypt. All the flights within Egypt are included. The Nile cruise is included. 5-star hotels like the Four Seasons included. And all of the food is included. And it's all 5-star high quality food, hand-picked things, custom imported chefs. We're not eating no garbage. We're not getting viruses and illnesses and sicknesses. We are doing everything 5-star. All right. So hopefully I can see y'all there. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And thanks for hanging out with Forbidden Knowledge. Now I'm going to go pack and head to the airport so I can get back to my beautiful family. All right. I will catch y'all later. Peace.